Your immune system is under attack daily. 9 foods in your local Tesco or Sainsbury's can genuinely help strengthen it. Garlic, ginger, citrus fruits, oily fish, natural yogurt, spinach, almonds, mushrooms, green tea. All affordable, all backed by real science. No supplements required, no expensive superfoods, just actual food that works. Let's get into it. Coming at number 9, garlic. Garlic contains allicin, a sulfur compound released when cloves are crushed or chopped that research shows has antimicrobial and immune-stimulating properties. Studies demonstrate that regular garlic consumption can reduce the frequency and duration of common colds, with one trial finding that daily garlic supplementation reduced cold incidence by 63% compared to placebo. The mechanism involves allicin enhancing the response of white blood cells when they encounter viruses, essentially making your immune system more reactive to threats. The practical reality is that garlic won't prevent all illness, but consistent consumption appears to provide modest protective benefits during cold and flu season. The cost is minimal, with garlic bulbs costing roughly 30 to 50 pence each, making this intervention essentially free whilst adding flavour to meals rather than requiring you to choke down something unpleasant for health benefits. The preparation matters because allicin forms only when garlic is crushed or chopped and exposed to air, so whole cloves provide minimal benefit whilst crushed garlic added to cooking delivers active compounds. The myth about needing raw garlic for benefits is partially false, because whilst heat reduces allicin content, cooked garlic still provides immune benefits through other sulfur compounds that survive cooking. Consumer behavior shows most people using garlic purely for flavor without realizing they're also supporting immune function, making this the easiest recommendation because you're probably already consuming it regularly. The supplements marketed as aged garlic extract or odorless garlic provide convenience, but whole fresh garlic is cheaper and likely more effective based on research comparing different forms.
Coming in at number 8, fresh ginger. Ginger contains gingerol, a bioactive compound with anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties that support immune function through reducing oxidative stress and modulating inflammatory responses. Research demonstrates that ginger compounds enhance certain immune cell activity whilst reducing excessive inflammation that can actually impair immune responses, essentially helping your system respond appropriately rather than overreacting. The evidence for ginger preventing illness is weaker than for treatment, with studies showing it reduces nausea and may shorten respiratory infection duration, but doesn't necessarily prevent catching infections in the first place. The practical application is using fresh ginger in cooking, smoothies or tea, rather than relying on it as medicine, with regular consumption being sensible, but expecting it to prevent all illness being unrealistic. The cost is affordable, with fresh ginger root at roughly £1 per piece, lasting weeks when stored properly, making consistent use economically viable for most families. The preparation flexibility allows grating into stir-fries, steeping in hot water for tea, blending into smoothies, or adding to soups, making incorporation into regular diet straightforward rather than requiring special recipes. The myth about ginger being miracle cure for colds is false, with benefits being modest symptom reduction rather than prevention or cure, so consume it for flavor and minor immune support rather than expecting dramatic results. Consumer tendency is buying ginger with good intentions, then letting it shrivel in the fridge unused, so start with small amounts and commit to actually using it rather than wasting money on food that rots. The supplements containing ginger extract are unnecessary for most people, with fresh root being cheaper and providing additional nutrients beyond isolated gingerol.
Coming at number 7, citrus fruits. Oranges, grapefruits, lemons and limes provide vitamin C, an essential nutrient that supports multiple immune functions, including white blood cell production and activity, whilst acting as antioxidant protecting cells from damage. The research shows vitamin C deficiency impairs immune functions significantly, but supplementing beyond adequate intake provides minimal additional benefit for healthy people with sufficient dietary intake. Studies find that regular vitamin C consumption may slightly reduce cold duration by 8 to 10%, but doesn't prevent colds in general population, though it may help people under extreme physical stress like marathon runners. The practical reality is that one medium orange provides over 100% of daily vitamin C requirements, making supplementation unnecessary if you eat citrus fruit regularly. The cost is reasonable, with oranges at roughly £1.50 per kilogram, providing affordable vitamin C source throughout winter when immune support is most relevant. The fresh versus juice debate matters, bananas because whole fruit provides fiber and makes overconsumption difficult, whilst juice allows drinking excessive sugar calories whilst getting same vitamin C you'd get from one orange. The myth about megadosing vitamin C preventing illness is thoroughly debunked, with excess being excreted in urine rather than providing additional immune benefits beyond meeting basic requirements. Consumer behavior shows people buying expensive vitamin C supplements whilst not eating actual fruit, essentially paying for nutrients they'd get free from food they should be eating anyway. The storage consideration is that vitamin C degrades over time, so eating fresh citrus provides more benefit than fruit that's been sitting for weeks. Coming in at number 6, oily fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, and other oily fish provide omega-3 fatty acids that reduce excessive inflammation, support immune cell membrane function, and help regulate immune responses to prevent both underactivity and harmful overreaction. Research demonstrates that omega-3s enhance B-cell activity, improve antibody responses, and reduce chronic inflammation that impairs immune function, essentially optimizing your system rather than simply boosting it. The evidence shows regular oily fish consumption reduces respiratory infection severity and may decrease autoimmune disease risk, though it won't prevent you catching common colds or guarantee immunity from illness. The practical recommendation is eating oily fish twice weekly as per NHS guidance, providing sustained omega-3 intake rather than sporadic consumption that doesn't maintain beneficial blood levels. The cost varies dramatically, with tinned mackerel or sardines at roughly £1.20 per tin being affordable, whilst fresh salmon at £15 per kilogram requires bigger budget. The preparation simplicity of tinned fish eliminates excuses about not having time to cook, with mackerel on whole grain toast taking 3 minutes and providing substantial immune-supporting nutrients. The myth about needing expensive fresh salmon for benefits is false, because tinned oily fish provides equivalent omega-3s whilst being shelf-stable and cheaper, making it a superior choice for consistent consumption. Consumer tendency is buying fish oil supplements instead of eating actual fish, missing out on protein, vitamin D, and other beneficial compounds that whole food provides beyond isolated omega-3s. The mercury concerns about oily fish are minimal for smaller species like sardines and mackerel, which have low contamination whilst providing high omega-3 content.
Coming in at number 5, natural yogurt. Natural yogurt without added sugar provides probiotics, beneficial bacteria that support gut microbiome health, which research increasingly shows influences immune function through gut immune system interactions. Studies demonstrate that specific probiotic strains can reduce respiratory infection incidence and duration, enhance vaccine responses, and modulate immune cell activity, though effects vary based on bacterial strains and individual gut environments. The mechanism involves gut bacteria training immune cells, producing compounds that regulate inflammation and competing with harmful bacteria that might trigger inappropriate immune responses. The practical reality is that probiotic benefits require regular consumption because bacteria don't permanently colonize your gut, so eating yogurt occasionally provides minimal benefit compared to daily intake. The cost is affordable, with natural yogurt at roughly £2 per kilogram providing economical probiotic source compared to supplements costing £10 to £20 monthly for similar bacterial counts. The quality matters, with live culture yogurt providing active bacteria, whilst heavily processed varieties may have reduced bacterial viability, so check labels for live culture designation rather than assuming all yogurt provides probiotics. The myth about needing expensive probiotic supplements is questionable, because whole food sources like yogurt provide bacteria plus protein, calcium and other nutrients, whilst costing substantially less than isolated supplements. Consumer confusion exists about Greek versus natural yogurt, with both providing probiotics but Greek being strained to higher protein content, making either beneficial for immune support through different nutritional profiles. The sugar content becomes crucial because flavored yogurts contain 6 to 8 teaspoons per pot, negating immune benefits through added sugar that research shows impairs immune function.
Coming in number 4, spinach and leafy greens. Spinach, kale and other leafy greens provide vitamins A, C and E, plus folate and various antioxidants that support immune cell development and protect against oxidative damage that impairs immune responses. Research shows that these nutrients work synergistically, with vitamin A supporting mucous membrane integrity that forms physical barrier against pathogens, vitamin C enhancing white blood cell function, and antioxidants protecting immune cells from damage during their pathogen-fighting activity.
The evidence demonstrates that adequate intake of these vitamins supports optimal immune function, whilst deficiency clearly impairs it, though megadosing beyond requirements doesn't provide additional benefits. The practical application is incorporating leafy greens into regular diet through salads, smoothies, or cooked side dishes, rather than relying on them as medicine during illness. The cost is minimal, particularly for frozen spinach, at roughly £1.50 per kilogram, providing concentrated nutrition that lasts months without waste from fresh greens spoiling. The preparation flexibility allows raw in salads, wilted into pasta, blended into smoothies, or added to soups, making incorporation straightforward for families willing to experiment beyond traditional British vegetable preferences. The myth about needing to eat kale specifically is marketing-driven, because spinach, chard, and other leafy greens provide similar nutritional profiles at lower cost and potentially better taste for people who find kale unpalatable. Consumer resistance to leafy greens often stems from poor preparation, creating bitter or slimy results, whilst proper cooking with garlic, lemon, or in mixed dishes makes them genuinely enjoyable rather than something to tolerate for health. The organic versus conventional debate is less important for immune benefits than simply eating adequate quantities, with conventional leafy greens being preferable to eating none due to organic cost concerns.
Coming in at number 3, almonds and other nuts. Almonds provide vitamin E, healthy fats, and various minerals that support immune function through antioxidant protection and membrane health, whilst providing sustained energy that prevents blood sugar crashes that can temporarily impair immunity. Research demonstrates that vitamin E enhances immune responses, particularly in older adults, with studies showing improved vaccine responses and reduced infection rates in people consuming adequate vitamin E from food sources. The mechanism involves vitamin E protecting immune cell membranes from oxidative damage during their intense metabolic activity fighting pathogens, essentially preserving immune cell function during periods of high demand. The practical recommendation is eating a small handful of almonds or mixed nuts daily, providing vitamin E and healthy fat without excessive calories that could lead to weight gain, undermining health benefits. The cost is moderate, with almonds at roughly £6 per kilogram seeming expensive, until you realise that 30 grams serving costs roughly 18 pence, whilst providing substantial nutrition. The preparation simplicity makes nuts perfect convenient snack, requiring zero preparation, addressing excuse that healthy eating is too complicated, whilst providing better nutrition than crisps or biscuits that many people default to. The myth about needing activated or soaked nuts for benefits is largely unfounded, with regular roasted or raw nuts providing equivalent nutritional value without requiring time-consuming preparation that discourages consistent consumption. Consumer confusion about nuts being fattening ignores that moderate consumption supports healthy weight through satiety and metabolic benefits, with research showing nut consumers having lower obesity rates despite higher calorie intake from nuts themselves. The allergy awareness is crucial because nut allergies affect substantial population, making almonds unsuitable for some people who need alternative vitamin E sources like seeds or leafy greens.
Coming in number 2, mushrooms. Mushrooms, including common button varieties, provide beta-glucans, vitamin D when exposed to sunlight or UV light, and various compounds that research shows enhance immune cell activity and help regulate immune responses. Studies demonstrate that mushroom consumption increases natural killer cell activity, improves antibody responses, and may reduce upper respiratory infection incidence through mechanisms that aren't fully understood but appear to involve immune cell training. The vitamin D content is particularly relevant for immune function because deficiency impairs both innate and adaptive immunity, with UK population having widespread insufficiency during winter months when respiratory infections peak. The practical application is incorporating mushrooms into regular meals through stir-fries, pasta sauces, soups, or as pizza topping, rather than eating them specifically for immune benefits during illness. The cost is affordable, with basic mushrooms at roughly £2 per kilogram, providing accessible immune support without requiring exotic varieties marketed as medicinal, despite limited evidence they're superior to common types. The preparation versatility allows raw in salads, sautéed as side dish, or incorporated into countless recipes, making them easy addition to varied diets rather than requiring dedicated mushroom-focused meals. The myth about needing exotic varieties like shiitake or reishi for immune benefits is questionable because common button mushrooms contain similar beta-glucan content whilst costing fraction of specialty varieties. Consumer tendency is buying mushrooms that then turn slimy and fridge unused, so start with small amounts and commit to actually cooking them rather than wasting money on good intentions that rot into compost. The vitamin D enhancement through UV exposure is worth seeking, with some supermarkets now stocking mushrooms specifically treated to increase vitamin D content through controlled light exposure before sale. Coming in at number 1, green tea. Green tea provides catechins, particularly EGCG, which research shows has antiviral properties and enhances immune cell function, whilst providing L-theanine that may reduce stress-related immune suppression. Studies demonstrate that regular green tea consumption reduces cold and flu incidence, with one trial finding that green tea catechins decreased infection rates by 23% compared to placebo during cold season. The mechanism involves catechins interfering with viral replication, enhancing T-cell function and providing antioxidant protection that preserves immune cell activity during infection responses. The evidence quality for green tea is relatively strong compared to many immune-supporting foods, with multiple controlled trials showing consistent modest benefits for infection prevention rather than just theoretical mechanisms. The practical reality is that green tea won't guarantee immunity, but regular consumption appears to provide genuine protective effect during winter months when respiratory infections circulate widely. The cost is minimal, with green tea bags at roughly £2 for 80 bags, making daily consumption affordable whilst providing hydration and a modest caffeine boost without coffee's potential to disrupt sleep that impairs immunity. The preparation is effortless, requiring only boiling water and 3 minutes steeping, eliminating excuses about healthy choices being too complicated or busy time for busy schedules. The myth about green tea being miracle cure is overblown, but the evidence for modest immune support is stronger than for most foods marketed for immune benefits, making this genuinely worthwhile addition to daily routine. Consumer preference for coffee over tea is understandable, but switching one daily coffee to green tea provides immune benefits without requiring elimination of all caffeine or major lifestyle changes. The most practical and evidence-based choices for sustained immune support are natural yogurt and green tea. Natural yogurt wins through combination of affordability at £2 per kilogram, proven probiotic benefits supported by substantial research, versatility allowing use in breakfast or cooking, and providing additional nutrition beyond immune support through protein and calcium. The gut-immune connection makes probiotics particularly valuable because maintaining a healthy microbiome influences immune function constantly rather than only during acute illness. Green tea earns top position through exceptionally strong evidence from controlled trials showing actual infection reduction rather than just theoretical immune enhancement, minimal cost at pennies per serving, and effortless preparation requiring no cooking skills or planning. The combination of these two creates a sustainable routine, with yogurt at breakfast and green tea replacing one daily coffee, providing consistent immune support without requiring dramatic dietary changes or expensive purchases. The advantage over supplements is that both provide benefits through whole food matrix, including compounds beyond the primary active ingredients, whilst costing substantially less than equivalent supplement regimens. The realistic expectations are important because neither prevents all illness, but research suggests 20 to 30% reduction in infection frequency over winter months when consumed consistently. The sustainability matters more than intensity because immune support requires consistent intake rather than sporadic megadosing, making affordable everyday foods superior to expensive supplements you'll stop buying after one bottle.
Final thoughts. Building immune resilience requires consistent dietary patterns rather than panic buying specific foods when you feel illness coming. The 9 foods covered represent accessible, affordable options available in every UK supermarket without requiring specialty stores or massive budgets. The evidence quality varies, with green tea and yogurt having strongest research support, whilst others like garlic and ginger have traditional use plus modest scientific backing worth respecting. The practical approach is incorporating several of these foods into regular rotation rather than obsessing over consuming all 9 daily, with variety providing different beneficial compounds supporting immune function through multiple mechanisms. The cost awareness matters because immune support shouldn't require financial stress, with budget-conscious choices like tinned fish, frozen spinach, and basic mushrooms providing equivalent benefits to expensive fresh alternatives. The realistic expectations prevent disappointment because no food guarantees immunity, with these recommendations reducing infection risk and severity rather than eliminating illness entirely. The lifestyle context is crucial because diet is one factor amongst sleep, stress, exercise, and hygiene that collectively determine immune function, making nutritious food important but not sufficient alone. The actionable next step is adding 1 or 2 of these foods to your weekly shop starting this weekend, rather than attempting complete dietary overhaul that becomes overwhelming and unsustainable. Your immune system responds to what you feed it consistently over months and years, so start building better habits now rather than waiting until you're already sick and desperately Googling immune-boosting foods. Small, consistent changes create meaningful health improvements that research proves reduce illness burden while supporting overall well-being beyond just avoiding colds.